So anyway, API event, whatever I completed, I'm adding here, and then path optimizer, mm, adding here. So when drag and drop here, what I have an option is obviously, uh, how you need to configure. You can give all these details like activity name, and here you have the reason to give. Always basically give the activity name. So maybe say campaign one, and you can give proper description. A/B test. It will help you slowly in your progress once you do query and all. All these things will help if you are giving proper name and all. Now to configure the results, I have two way to do it: manual selection and engagement, email engagement. Email engagement, you have only this option: click rate, open rate, unsubscribe rate. For how many days you want to evaluate, you can define. For me, it will be, I'll always keep 7 days, and then I can even go to split. Okay, but this split, uh, you know, let's say make it 70 and 30. Path one and part two. You can define, or you can add more paths into it. And whatever you have, the details in your data extension. Here I used API, so it is always one to one. Huh. So for this, it doesn't hold any value for me, right? Because it's one to one. But now see this path optimizer for this API event, it doesn't hold good for me. Huh. So what I do, I'm going to use this data extension, okay, where it will have thousands of contacts. So once I have thousands of subscribers, then definitely, you know I can say how many to hold back. Hmm. But this also becomes available once you activate this. You schedule and activate it, then you can say, okay, how much I want to test. This is by default is giving you 100. You can configure this one. Hmm. Now if I go to the manual one, similarly, you don't get the configuration of how you are deciding the manually. You might give the split and hold back and all other things. This hold is again once you schedule and run, then only is getting the evaluation. Okay, but here, this manual once you activate, it say what it says. Once the journey is active, come back at any time to manually select a winner. So you have to come and define which one becomes a winner. Huh. Here it is pretty out of the box is true, click rate, open rate, or unsubscribe. But maybe you have your own criteria which you can do it. And this is our path optimization, and I'm not a fan of path optimizer, by the way. You have two emails. Okay. So let's say this is email one. hmm, This is email two that you're sending. Whoever is the winner, okay, let's say this is email one, and this is email 2. Hmm. And let's say if I optimize this to manually to engagement, and I say how many people are opening this email. So I said based on the open rate, I'm going to select the winner. So after not one day, definitely not one day. After let's say 1 week, whoever becomes, let's say email 2 becomes the winner. This path, that is path one, hmm, this will be closed. So whoever after 7 days enters this journey, it will always follow path two. Is that clear? What is path optimizer?
Shashi, can you please repeat one more time what you said? Like in the end.
In the end, let's say this is email one, right? So this one, if you see here, this is saying 50% path one. This is saying 50% path two, right? What I've
Right.
configured, I've configured it
Open rate.
uh,
Yeah.
open rate,
Yeah.
right? So the path with the highest open rate is becomes the winner. So let's
Right.
say I sent 100 people, and out of 100 people, email 2 was has more open rates.
Okay.
Okay, so this becomes the winner. So email 2 becomes the winner,
Okay.
right? So after 7 days, what I said here in the configuration, I said how many days to evaluate. I said 7 days to evaluate. So after 7 days, if this becomes the winner, so anybody after 7 days who is injecting into a journey, it will always follow path two. This will be shut down.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Nobody is going to follow this path.
Shashi,
This is
one
path
question.
optimization. Hmm.
Sorry. But when we try to set up path optimizer, it says it could be only run once, right?
You have this hold back, na? So if you by default, if you just activate and you forget, so everybody is in the testing phase. Hmm.
No, what I mean here is it
Only
says only. So
only
what you're saying,
available for run one schedule. Huh.
Yeah. So what you're saying
Mm,
here is, after 7 days, whomsoever gonna insert in this journey, in this,
mm,
and they are going to follow path two, as this is that is the winner. But
mm.
how this is going to be with the run one schedule? I mean, if it is already running, I mean, I'm little
See,
confused. So how did it difference
so
from recurrence one?
Can I
uh,
explain on this, Sasi, on Sumit's question?
sure.
Yeah. So the thing is, Sumit, as per my understanding, so once we also configure this holdback contacts, I mean, the data or the customers, right? So once after 7 days, the path that is been decided, the winner path, so the holdback customers are going to enter the winner's path only, even if it is the run one schedule, because we are holding back the customers at right at that path optimizer point. Right. So once the winner is evaluated after 7 days, the holdback customers are going to enter the path two, or whatever the path that has been decided as a winner. So that's all. That's what it
No, no, no.
say.
What his question is? Okay. What his question is?
Mm-hmm.
This path optimizer. What it says is this path optimizer is only available when you schedule this journey as run once.
Yes.
Hmm. So once you basically do this as run once, then what is the point of having a recurring one? Because this path optimizer is only applicable for run once program.
I mean,
Hmm.
the
So
holdback customers are going to wait right at the path optimizer step, right? Sasi? Because we are holding
yeah.
back
So
the. Yeah.
what you can do also, right? So these are run ones. So okay. So obviously for recurring event, it's not going to you will be able to activate this one. That's what the problem is, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh,
Probably.
either you're holding it back, but
Yeah.
I understand what Sumit is saying. So for recurring events, it's not going to happen. Hmm.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying I'm not a fan of this path optimizer. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Shashi, so the question is,
Hmm.
if it's not recurring, then how new contacts are going to inject in the journey? I mean, let's say there's a data extension, there are 1,000 records.
ये डाल दिया है ये A/B टेस्टिंग है this is A/B testing this
Mhm.
is first you have to understand ये A/B this is what uh, Deepak was trying to say right not enable
Ye-
all contacts to be tested so
Yes.
first you have thousand of records out of thousand of records you're selecting once you schedule this for run once you're saying I'm going to hold a 50% of the population
Got it.
and I'm going to test only with the 50% of the population.
So there is, I mean, with 50%, it is going to be 500 records, which we are going to hold back,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
what I wanted to know, we cannot add 501. I mean, no records, new records are going to add it. Let's say in that data
Mm.
extension, 10 more records are added. So they are not going to be part of that journey because it is just a run one schedule, right?
Run
It's not
once
going to be like they're not
correct
going to.
no nahi. That's why I'm saying I'm not a fan of path optimizer. What I can do, I'll
Yes.
tell you. Okay, what I can do. I'm going to delete this. Okay, now instead of path optimizer, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a decision split. Hmm. In a decision split, I'm going to add one email. I'm going to add an email. Hmm. Now, told you, like I have a code snippet. Huh. What I can also create, let's say, I create a content block say this content I always like content block or HTML. So let's say HTML. Huh. I created email one HTML here. This one is the email HT1. Hmm. So I'll say email one. So I'm not building the full HTML. If you want, okay, it will take some time. That's why I'm trying not to do. Hmm. So यहाँ पे let's say I'll just print a paragraph for you. Hmm. So this is email one, email one. Okay. Similarly, I can build email two. I have two content blocks, one, email two. Similar this one, right? So I can have another content block with HTML and I'll say email two. I'm not writing the code, okay? It will take a lot of time. So this is email two. What I can see, I'll create another one with saying the content. So I'll say this is a email content. Hmm. So in this email content, what I'm doing is I'm writing a basically a code snippet saying that call by content block by ID. And here, instead of value, I'm adding an mscript variable saying that block ID. I'm saving this. and say uh, A/B test. Now I've saved this one. Okay. Now I'm going to a journey. Here, uh, in this, when I create this email, hmm, I'm going to call this content block, which is this A/B test. Okay, where I have to pass a value called block ID. So the block ID can be email one or email two. How many people are following? मुझे वही डर लगता है कि if I go on keep on explaining, how many people follow. So let's say if I create this email and I say HTML and I say this is email one, because this is going to a next level of discussion. That's what I always try. So
Yeah,
this
they
email
see.
one is not working.
Creating
Email.
the emails is very slow process in marketing cloud. All the cloud itself is
Mhm.
very slow.
So here I created this content block, right? So this is the content block by ID. So instead of this, I'm going to, where is the journey? Here, I can paste it here. Huh. Now here, I can define which content block to call. So here, I can have a set parameter, and here I'm defining this variable. Now I can say this one. This is for email one, right? So for my email one, this was the content block, which is this one. So I'm taking the ID, copy this, and here I'm adding the content block. So which one it will call indirectly is email one, right? So similarly, I can create email two, and I just have to define the ID. Whatever is populated, it will populate it based. See, I said email one. That's why email one is populating. Hmm. Now I created a journey with email one. So this one is configured. I can configure the email two also. After some day, what you can do, you can go to that email, whoever is the winner, but it becomes a manual selection. And then I simply need to change the content ID for that particular email, whichever is the loser. Follow me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
See, customize और
simpler
ज़्यादा
way.
customize कर दिया.
They see. Yeah, yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
This
और
is
लोगों को
another
पागल
way.
नहीं करना चाहता हूँ मैं. बहुत लोग नहीं समझ पाएगा. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
This
I'm not basically discouraging anyone, but I know this is little difficult to digest what I'm saying.
But this
this
is
is a
Anyway,
awesome.
new thing.
Yeah. This is definitely awesome.
so I don't go with AP optimizer, but this what do you say, this path optimizer.
Path
I will
optimizer.
go this way. When I have a recurring schedule. Okay, moving to the other one. I don't want to make it difficult. Now, how to configure a trigger chain via journey builder?
Shashi,
Hmm.
just one question. In that particular thing, when we are doing that using decision split, so by any way we can have those tracking details there and can decide who is the winner
Hmm.
automatically.
See, your enthusiasm, I like it, Ankita, right? But
Hmm.
why I don't go to that path? क्योंकि लोग, they लोग बहुत लोग actually I hesitate going into this detail
Hmm.
क्योंकि I'm just every सबको I want the session to be such a way that everybody understands. But they have to be focused what I'm saying. And new people, it is very difficult to explain
Okay.
what I'm saying, right? So वो I have to cater everyone. Okay. That's why sometimes I get disappointed कि what I said lot of things but लोगों को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है. That is where I get disappointed. But what I'm saying is even Salesforce architect they will say Sasi, go out of the place. Okay. So that a reason I sometimes try to keep myself low, but नहीं होता है. I'm this way. Anyway, ज़्यादा अपना
Yeah.
चेष्टा मत करो. हाँ.